Hey guys, it's Michael. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to a new video again on the flip chart, as you seem to like those detailed tutorials. I decided to do one more which was inspired by you, my community, and we are going to talk about the two main different types of techniques you can use with handstand push-up. And those two types are the one where you push more in the sagittal plane and the one where you push more in the frontal plane, which I like to call the Stipke handstand push-up, as he is doing a lot of this technique and made it also pretty famous. So yeah, stay tuned for the main differences. Good, let's start this video and let's first discuss what the sagittal and the frontal plane actually is. It's just a way of describing from which plane you are looking at the exercise. If we're having a handstand push-up from the sagittal plane, we're taking a look at the side view of the exercise. So handstand push-ups from here. If we're looking at the frontal plane, we're having a front view on the exercise. So handstand push-ups from here. And we need those two planes to analyze the two differences between a regular handstand push-up and the Stipke handstand push-up. So what do I mean when I say the regular handstand push-up? Then we're talking about this side here. I will also show you a picture of how it looks in the real world. Okay, here we have the bars or the floor. This is my forearm, upper arm, my hips, and my feet. And in the handstand push-up, we need to balance our center of mass here above the wrists, and that is what we do with all techniques. As we learned also in the later video, or in the earlier video with the dips, is that the perpendicular distance from the point where force is exerted to the axis of rotation, and we're taking a look at the axis of rotation here in the shoulder. This perpendicular distance, let's take another color for this, is what defines the loading arm on the joint. So here we have this loading arm. And this is the technique where you keep the elbows close to the body, so where the main movement happens in the sagittal plane, because we're performing a shoulder flexion. This is the movement that we're performing. And due to this movement, we have a pretty big angle towards the floor. So this here is the angle that we're having towards the floor, and we have a pretty big loading arm on our front delt. This one here. Big loading arm. Then let's take a look at the Stipke variation. This from the side view has a very, very small upper arm. Why does the upper arm get small from the side? Because we are not performing much of the shoulder flexion. It's more a shoulder adduction here. So, abduction, I'm sorry, shoulder abduction. So you are doing this. And if I'm now taking a look from the side view, very, very long upper arm, moving the elbow to the side, you see it gets way shorter, and that leads to a more steep position here. So we are way more upright, this angle here, and we have less loading demands here on the front delt, because in the sagittal plane we have a smaller loading arm on the shoulder. Now let's take a look at how this looks in the frontal plane when we take a look at the exercise really from the front, and we can see a huge difference again. So the regular handstand push-up technique has then in the front view small upper arms, because the elbows are pretty close to the body. That means the upper arm gets small. In the Stipke technique, we have a very, very long loading arm. That means here on our upper traps, and especially on the side delts, here on this technique it's small, and on this technique it's big. So we can sum up with the regular handstand push-up technique, we are pushing pretty dominantly with the front delt in the shoulder flexion and also with the upper chest. So delts and chest dominant variation and a shoulder flexion dominant movement. With the Stipke technique, I'm switching between English and German. With the Stipke technique, we have a shoulder abduction dominant movement. We're tackling more of the side delt and more of the upper traps. Triceps is involved highly in both of these variations. Note that this is of course just a very, very simplified way to explain it, as in the real world all levers and all movements are in 3 dimensions and of course not in 2. So it's not precisely, but this is the main difference. And to decide which technique you want to use, you can now choose if you need a flexion dominant exercise for, I don't know, planche assistance, for dip assistance, or if you need a more shoulder abduction dominant movement to really build your side delts, to build the traps, to maybe have a good carryover to a dumbbell overhead press or something like this. So they are pretty similar, but small differences in the muscles that are included and in the movement itself. And also later on, this one here also provides you more range of motion, as here the range of motion is more limited due to your head position. But in the end, both are great exercises, both are great variations, and there is no worse or better variation. It is just different. And the finisher is also important for you, as I get this question often. This one here is, if you do it assisted, is more back to wall handstand push up, and this, I fucked it up. This is a belly to wall handstand push up, and this is a back to wall handstand push up. So whenever you ask yourself what the difference is, if you would do a back to wall handstand push up, there you go in this plane, so more in the frontal plane, and it's more an abduction dominant movement. And if you're going with belly to wall here, you have more flexion dominant movement where you tackle more the front delt and the chest and not the traps so much. And that is the main difference. Yeah, sorry for the 2 mistakes. But yeah, one cut videos or one take videos, that's how it is. And I hope you like the videos. I hope you like the theory behind the handstand push-up. If you have ideas for other videos, let me know. And yeah, make sure to subscribe, to like the video. And if you're interested in more theory, if you're interested in working with me as your coach, learning more about calisthenics, learning more about biomechanics, then just schedule a free consulting call for my online coaching, and then we get your knowledge and your performance on the next level.